least just capture. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to connect myself into the
Money and
purpose,
menopause.
of what we want to accomplish, right? So menopause is a transition that every woman, most of the time, starting ages 40 and up, because some are earlier, some are later, but that will be around the biological clock that we have, right? So healthcare costs that are incurred by menopause is where we can sort of touch, okay, healthcare costs based on the changes that menopause bring. So, Maaike, what will be those changes, or what will incur to have, seeking medical assistance? Because it can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be physical. So how you share on what that is for you, so that women understand how that is together. Because sometimes, you go through menopause, but sometimes you don't realize that indeed financially is tied up. I don't know. That's just my thinking. What are your what are your thoughts?
Yes. So it's like the mentality, because everybody's so used to going to the doctor for all the responses, for all the not the results, but the answers. That's what I wanted to say. So the doctor has all the answers. The doctor has all the power over a human being who not only is going through menopause, but any health conditions. So culturally, we've been trained that all the answers are coming from the doctor. And we have zero power over our health. Zero, nada, right? And also culturally and family-wise, because every woman has been trained that you give the outside, you care give to others. Nobody teaches us how to self-care, how to take care of ourselves first. So what happens when a woman is going through that transition in all these stages, and it starts with, well, everybody is different, but it starts with night sweats. It starts with aches and pains that come out of the blue. It starts with bloating, like you feel like 5 months pregnant. It comes from like lethargy, like so tired. I was speaking with another friend from that same event that we were talking with, Mercedes, that you met there. And she says, Maaike, I don't know what's happening to me in the afternoon. I feel so tired, like I need to nap. And I go for a nap, but then I cannot sleep at night because, of course, my rhythm, my sleep cycle is completely broken. So we start as women, we start covering all this, like patching all the things. It's like, okay, I'll take a nap, but then I cannot sleep. Then I'll take a pill for sleeping. Then I'll go to the doctor to give me a pill for sleeping. Or there's a lot of anxiety and depression sensation, emotions, but it is because of the lack of estrogen and progesterone, our hormones that are the ones that are in control of our body system. But because we're running low on that, we're going to have anxiety and depression. So what happens? A woman goes not only to the family practice doctor or her OBGYN, but she escalates and she goes to the psychiatrist because she thinks she's going crazy. What happens is that she goes to the psychiatrist and they prescribe antidepressants, which is so wrong because they don't know, they don't ask the stage of the woman, and they are not relating that it's coming from menopause, not because she's going crazy. So it's like, and those antidepressants really cause a lot of issues in the body of a woman. Also, they go for, they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, and they give them statin. So they give them, prescribe another medication, which is only proven for men, not for women. So there's heart attacks.
Wow.
So
That's-
all these things, if the woman is not knowledgeable, that this is a natural thing, and there's natural ways to address these things, then they will incur a lot of medical expenses, a lot, which will not bring the answers, are just patches. They will be overspending their money, and they will feel at the end of the road devastated and losing 10 years of their life because it's a vicious circle and this lasts for 10 years. So if not becoming aware at the right time, they will, and because we go to the doctor for all the answers, right? Or our husbands or our children say, Mom, you've gone bananas, you're crazy, because you become very moody. So everybody thinks it's like crazy, and now you're thinking you want other things that they're not staples, but now it's the awakening of the woman. Now it's like, okay, you're thinking different thoughts, but because you're thinking outside the box, you're crazy. Nobody understands. So now they want to take you to the psychiatrist, right? Because you're crazy. So that is how important it is, this topic of money and menopause, because we can help so many women save so much money in this season of life.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned the emotions. There's emotional spending, of course. So the transition of this particular stage of women's life, you know, I talk to so many women, and sometimes they really don't understand why they're even spending. So I think that has to do with the education about the transitioning of menopause to menopause. And once again, we go back to the education. If we are not educated, we don't know any better. So we just react accordingly to whatever is going at that moment, right? And that will be something that many women, I think, can just take a step back or sit down and really look inside of them to see what exactly is going on, so that they can get the right help and they can address and start taking care of their well-being, so that they can have the balance on the wheel of life, so they can start just flourishing at this particular chapter of their life, because it's really starting another chapter of your life.
Mhm.
So okay, I I get it. I get it. Get it.
See
Get it.
how is now we're back in track, right? It's like try to piece all the parts of the puzzle together. And that's exactly even you trying to identify with all the things when you're not even going, you cannot relate to all the things. But once you start, you will see, oh, now I understand what she was talking about and how important it is for all different ages of the woman to know, because the more we talk about it openly to our daughters as well, like 20s, right? They know how to take better care of themselves. And it's not different, and she's not crazy because she wants to take care of herself, right? It doesn't have to, we don't have to wait till we feel like broken and have to be fixed to get there. So we don't have to be broken or want to be fixed. We can take control and manage our health much sooner, even in the 30s, because it's a lifestyle. When we change the way we're approaching our nutrition, our body, our not abusing it and not having compulsions, and really healing that inner child inside of us, which at different stages, we all have that inner child, that inner girl that is hurt. What happens in menopause, it comes to the surface, like everything that was not resolved before 45 or 50 is going to come to the surface. That's why we feel like crazy. That's why we feel like so many things are happening at once. Wouldn't it be nicer to just be educated at a sooner age, earlier age, and know exactly what are the seasons of these cycles, what are these chapters of our life, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and beyond, and know how to address, and then not go crazy and not go to Alzheimer's and dementia or cancer. Because all these, and this is the month of breast cancer, right? This is October when we're recording. Today is October 2nd. Dia de la Raza also is like in Mexico, is like our race, the Latins. So it's taking care of our breasts, and not only our breast, as a whole. We need to address the woman as a whole, the wheel of life, everything that is giving her light, and analyze what is taking away from that light in life, so that we can really roll and be in motion and keep going forward and not deviate so much. I think women can earn so much more money when they believe in themselves. There's so much lack of confidence as Latinas also, right? It's like culturally, but it's like, no, you're just here to take care of the house and your kids. You're not here to build a business for yourself. No, I am breaking my own pattern there, and I have my own still things that I'm working on, right? Because as I'm building stronger, more steady, I am breaking my own patterns, which I'm still in that transition, and that it's hard. We're always evolving and always learning. But the more we do as individuals, it's a ripple effect for the whole humanity, because we're breaking patterns. And when we do, we speak like this conversation right now. We speak to one another and to one-to-many, which is what we want to do as a workshops, right, for 2025, and just open it up for more people to be aware of how they can heal their own life, their money mindset, their child money mindset, the limiting beliefs, their health, their wellness, and really create that circle of life that is total wellness.
Well, I was thinking, okay, you came, all what you were saying, I love it, because it's really wellness investment. What does that mean? It's investing in developing your mindset, is investing and making sure that, whatever activity you are performing or that you want to do, it helps you to prepare and become healthy. So by the time the transition comes up, of course you're going to feel it, but it's not going to be like a surprise that normally it happens, because we have not invested in our wellness. Mm-hmm. And we try to invest. There's nothing wrong, because there's no right or wrong, right? But what's happening right now is that women that are going through that transition. They want to start investing right there and then, but then they want to see results in a short period of time, which it's not. It's like when you invest for your retirement, what happens? That's a long period of time because, you know, there is fluctuation that goes through all that. So it's the same thing. Oh, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
So it's really wellness investments, and it goes well-being, and it goes your relationship with your money, because you really want to enhance your well-being during the transition, or preparing, enhancing to prepare your well-being for the transition, or just in life in general, right? So it's just like, okay, and now I'm starting to go. I think that once we get to, I love it because when I start listening to you, it pours more into that, like, okay, got it. I see. Okay.
Yeah. And again, like we talked last time, is like, that's why there is so much, there's importance in communication. There's importance in dialogue, which before, like 100 years ago, there was a lot of dialogue. There was no social media. There was a lot of connection, and women lived in tribes, right? And they shared and they helped each other going through these transitions, and they were educated. Whatever they knew, they would help each other, and there was more talking. But what has happened in this last century, we've gone like not even inward. Yeah, zero. It's like inward, like solo, right? And not doing anything for themselves. What are you looking for? It's
That's okay.
what is that? What code? Oh, my phone. Okay. My son is asking for a little, which code for which one, because I have two different. Okay. Hold on. Here.
You know, that's a really good point, because what has happened, we lost to be curious.
Can be what?
Curious,
Yeah.
like wanting to learn, wanting to engage, wanting to just, you know, I don't know, having information where we can share, apply, and then if that's not the way, try another way. So technology, it's good, but it has been taken into a different direction where society, it's take that's like their company, their cell phone, their social media, which is not really interacting with the emotions and feelings. It just goes to whatever comes into the mind. And because you don't have those emotions and feelings, whatever your mind picks up, you know, you just like react towards that. So I like that point that you made.
Yes.
That
The human, that human touch has been lost. I'm gonna write that. Human touch has been lost. And we need to get back to it. Also with COVID, 3 years, right? We went into family dynamics, but the family dynamics are so, everybody's so unused to connecting that there was a lot of ruptures there. And also our relationship with our significant others, because there's so much confusion in our body and well-being, or bad being, because now we become the bad being, right? Instead of the well-being person. There's disruption because everything is a relationship. We have a relationship with money, we have a relationship with food, we have a relationship with ourselves. with our spiritual area. So that is also part of the wheel of life. How are we relating to each part of the wheel? How are we relating with nature, with food, with others, with ourselves, with our spiritual, like all the areas? So that is the education that I would absolutely love to create quarterly workshops for women to be aware and to have an open space to not be talked to, because that's exactly what the doctors say, right? Or there's enough books, there's enough knowledge, information out there for everybody, but there's not enough connection. And when women feels that instant connection, even the synergy that we have right here, right now with that conversation, when you feel that you were unrelated, right? When we came to the call, and now all of a sudden you say one thing and we start relating, oh, we can connect the dots. Now you are in that energy that is universal, but we need to align with it. We have to touch each other's heart, one to one, one to many.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. So, okay, cool. Awesome.
And
So,
I want to repeat one thing that you said, because sometimes we say some things and we don't acknowledge those things that we said. But I love this statement that you said, that's not the way. If it's not the way, try another way. If not, because that's what happens. It's like they don't see results and they give up. We all, not only they, we all give up, right? We don't say results, we give up. Instead of trying a little bit different, or preparing a little bit different, or laying a new foundation, trying a new invert your morning ritual, your morning routine. I'm very big on morning routine. So whoever talks with me or wherever I go, I'm huge, huge, huge on implanting that morning routine, because we go back to intention, right? Your intention for the day is planted in the first hours of the day. And today I was listening to a podcast that is totally related, and it's the lady who, I don't know if you read the book, Dream Big. Oh, what is that? Go Big? No, Big Magic. Big Magic. It's a great book by, I think it's Elizabeth Gilbert. Yeah. So I didn't know it was her talking, but I have read her book, and I didn't know that it was her that wrote the book. So I was like a magnet to listening to this podcast. And she says, we are all wasting a lot of time throughout the day on social media, scrolling. So who are you giving those first 2 or 3 hours of the day that are your most precious hours? Are you giving them away, right? Or whose bank account are you inflating?
ego, of course.
Yes, yes. So it's important to identify which are our 2 or 3 hours that are very productive, that we are wasting that time or giving it away to somebody else, and then we give ourselves trash. Let's invert that. Let's put ourselves first, invest those hours, and then the leftovers go to others, which is trash, but actually it's not going to be trash, because we're going to be so invested, so connected, that all that comes from our pores is not trash. It's actually divine.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
That is so true. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but oh no, we haven't. Okay, so the our church word this week was, sometimes we get caught up chasing possessions and trying to achieve possessions that at the end of the day, we don't realize that the possession actually owns us. So we think we own possessions, but in reality, if we go back, possessions owe us. Own us. I'm sorry.
Ouch. Yes.
I was like, oh, that was a good message right there. Which, it's true. If I did went back and I'm like, oh, that I never saw it that way. And it's so true. So
Mhm.
where's the freedom whenever you reach that successful goal that you are chasing? Yep, there's no freedom because that's what has you like this, like this. Then what happens, especially for a woman, let's go back to transitioning into menopause, because as most of us that are entrepreneurs or that they want, that they were looking to build legacy for community, legacy for family, or, just a lifestyle, right? What do? We go into careers, we get into businesses at an early age, and then we get to 40, 45, 50, and we start feeling what? The transitioning of menopause. Some of us maybe are aware. Some of us may not be aware. Some of us may kind of think or ignore it. But then we go back to, here we go. We are transitioning. What are we doing now after all these things and after all this freedom that we thought we had? Now we don't feel free. So what happened?
Exactly. I hear you, and I have heard so many conversations about this of podcasters, right? Our entrepreneurs is like, you're running so hard for that goal, but you forget the most important part, which is you. Yeah. So no matter if you're a millionaire, and so many millionaires, they in like when they interview is like they feel like there's something missing. Like there's a lot of regrets because they lost the track of like their family connection. They lost because they were only going for that power or that possession, and they didn't feel fulfilled even when they reached that goal. So we have to be really careful of what the real goal is. And that's when I have a conversation, a coaching discovery call, is like we go deep into the why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Why? Because the real why is really deep, is to love yourself and to feel better. When they get to that, and sometimes it takes questioning 10 times. Why do you want that? Why do you want that? Why do you want that? Until they touch their heart. It's like, when you know the why that touches your heart, then we're talking, then we're making changes.
Yes, oh my God, I am so glad that you touched that, because so many times, Maria, what is your why? Maria, what is your why? My why is this, 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 this. My why is this, 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 this. And I was like, no, no. Well, your why should be this because of this, because of this. No, that. So I could not say my why was other things because in reality, my why was me. It's about how I feel. It's about how I want to, come out to the world. It's about me because the world might not like the way I do things, the way I say things, the way I am. But if I'm okay with who I am, that's my why. Because then I'm going to reach out to the community that can relate to any, word or any encouragement that I can come up with because their why is them, not the outside. Plus, if you are not in balance, or you are not, in your own well-being, how can you really help others? How can you really go out there and say, or teach, or show, or give tools, if you don't follow, if you are not in that frequency, in that alignment? It's like when you go to the airplane, what do they say? If there's something happening, the first thing you do, you put it on you. Otherwise, you're not able to help other people. Well, that should be your why, your own well-being, so that then you can go out and serve and really pour what you are about to pour into this world, the purpose.
Yes. And your why will be forever changing, right? It's changing because as we have different seasons of life, our chapters, we close a chapter and then we open a new one. And then we have, maybe at first you're wanting to build a business. Why? What is it that intrigues you? Maybe later you want to get married. Why? Do you really want to get married? Do you really want to have kids? Maybe it's not some, like this conversation from this podcast. These two ladies, they're very professional. They do not have children themselves. So God said at 30, for one, like Elizabeth Gilbert, her body was going like cuckoos, bananas when she tried to get pregnant. It was not her design. It was not meant for her to have killed. She was almost dying when she tried to get pregnant. So she said, this is not for me. So she decided, this is not my role in the planet. So we have to be aligned with what is our role in the planet, and that we really do not discover, or we do not touch that until we start after 50. So that is when 50 is really when we get to create ourselves as who we want to be. But now we have lived a lot of things. We have a lot of wisdom. And when I get into a discovery call and when we go into coaching, not only is the food, not only is your exercise, not only is losing the weight. No. My coaching and my mission is to discover and uncover that little child. She already has a dream. She already was born with a dream. Let's peel all the layers of the onion, uncover everything that is piling up that you feel so heavy, right? Because that's what happens in menopause. You feel so heavy. I felt like the world, I would meditate and I felt like the world was on top of me. It's like, I could barely breathe. I could feel that for 10, like probably 7 years. Like I would meditate, it like my hands would feel like swollen, like big, like I was carrying with a lot of weight. And maybe whoever listens to this, whenever we broadcast or whatever, you're feeling the same way. But you feel like, holy moly, too much to deal with. So I felt like the world was on top of me. But now I relate to that, and I see that as I do my personal development and my growth and all the things, I feel that it was like God was handing me the world so I can do something for it.
Oh my god.
So it's all about perspective. Now, like I have tears in my eyes because
Oh,
sometimes we feel all alone in this heavy, right? But we have to do our work. Nobody can hand you anything. You have to do the inner work. And that you discover and uncover because every woman, every person is different. And what you lived as growing up is totally different. So what we do as coaches with the money on your end, and for me with the woman, is like, really, what are those things that are weighing you down, that you can flip the story and see maybe these are exactly your gifts that you need to discover, because your mess becomes your message. And that's what
Yeah.
happened to me, because I lived with this transition of menopause for 10 years. I see the fruits. I see the flowering now that I'm 57. Now I'm going into 60, right? It's like all these tools, all these gifts that I have to give to the world, but I'm not going to hand them to you. I'm just going to bring them out from you so you know what to do with them. Because it's not a pill. So whoever is listening, don't quit. Whatever you feel, that little inner voice, you're not crazy, you're not bananas, you have a message to listen. And one thing that I want to share with you, because it will happen someday, that I've been reading a lot of posts from women who are in menopause and women who want to lose weight. And they all say, all of a sudden, they're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And that was me for a long time. So what happens, that disrupts your sleep and you feel so angry because it's like you're not sleeping. So you're like, what can I do? What can I do? There is a technique that we do, and then I discovered for myself, and then I help with my clients. It like, that's your angels. Those are your soul messengers. Those are like, that is the time of the day that is el sereno, that it's all serene, all calm. That's when their spirits come down and to deliver a message. And when you are awakened, because you're awakened by your spiritual guides. Whoever is listening to this, it's not bananas. If you're not if you are not in tune with the spirituality, well, spirituality is a thing, right? We are all human bodies living in a we're all spirits living in a human body. So a lot of unresolved things, those are the times. And in menopause, when we go all the changes, we get woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why 3? And we start these calls at 3 o'clock in the day. But 3 is a magical, mystical time, and it's very calm. Like if you like research about the 3, it's
Okay.
very mystical number, but there's a reason why 3 o'clock. And also there's a reason because there's a lot of detoxification of the liver, which takes care of all the toxins from what we're consuming, putting on our bodies, eating, sugar. It's that detoxification time of our body. So if we get interrupted, that sleep cycle gets interrupted. But also if we're not listening to the message, the spiritual guides will keep on waking us up until we decide to listen. So we have to get up, we have to journal, whatever the message delivered, whatever that is, several times. Once that happens, it goes away because they delivered their message. If not, they keep knocking on the door. It's like, wake up, wake up, wake up. And it's a wake up. That is the awakening of the women. That's why I'm very passionate to to educate all women of all the things that happen, because it's not just one thing. It's so many things that
You know,
happen.
yeah, and the more that you bring it up, you start going deeper, and then the layers, like you said, start just unfolding because it's so deep. It's really deep. It's really deep.
Yeah,
So, and once again, it's part of the emotional well-being, because it's really about your emotions, about your feelings. And then, once you are able to not control it, but once you're able to really um, make the best decisions on those, then your mind and your heart are just going to align so that you can just uh, go on life as you wish you would go, I guess. And I think because, to me, life, I think we talked about this, it's a journey, and you don't get to the end of the tunnel. It's just a destination. I mean, there's so many things that starting from when you were born all the way until uh, this world. But even then, there's still a journey that I feel we go through in a different level. And if you don't heal all that, you just take it with you and you just keep leaving it for your generations. And there's never a cycle that is broken so that you can start like from scratch or from the beginning. So yeah, it's interesting, and I love the fact that yes, this is we yeah. Okay, I get
And
it. I get
I want to circle back to the energy of money, right? Because that is your expertise. And that's what has, for me, it has been the most difficult part to heal the money mindset and to understand that again, everything is a relationship. So if you're not inviting money to your life and you're not just spending it, but you're just not treating it with respect, the money will not come or will not last, no matter how much money you make.
Yep.
But it's also everything is a practice, right? And anyone listening, like our business is a reflection of our well-being. So a lot of women, now that I'm also helping other leaders with my company, that I help other women build their own kind of their side hustle and their side hustle is like Mike is like I can't, is like it's hard, it's like yeah, because you have to do the inner work. It's not just doing this, because when you elevate that energy, then the right people will come to you. You don't have to work so hard at it. So instead of doing 3 hours of pouring out and trying to do the hard work, do the inner work. That's why the 3 hours in the morning, like 2 or 3 hours, probably people say that's too many hours. Well, you wake up earlier, you figure out a way, and you start with 30 minutes, then you increase, but you'll notice your peace of mind, your sleep, your digestion, everything starts, your stress levels go so much down, but you know how to manage your stress levels. You know how to manage when there's an accident or something. You're not just reacting, you're just acting and know exactly what you need to do because you're at a different emotional state. So, like, money really is a relationship. And if you're helping people with money, like they need to know that behind money, they have to take care of themselves first. If they're building a business, they need to take themselves first. So what I do is kind of the foundation for everybody and anybody that really wants to like
yes,
evolve, is transform and be and do is someone special in this world,
yes,
because
yes.
everybody has that special thing that they came, but very few are open to doing the work. But my goal is to have every woman that I encounter, right, to not have those regrets at the end of the day when they're in the rocking chair in their last days of their life, saying, I should have, I would have liked to do this. I should have done this. Why didn't I try this?
I
Yeah.
love that. And that I think that's one of the reasons that I just love what you do, because when I sit down with women, if they are not balanced emotionally, physically, mentally, with their relationships, with their environment, in their career, money is energy, and we are energy. Money is not going to want to be around you. Like you said, it doesn't matter. I have clients that make pretty good amount of money, and you know what? It goes like water. because the rest of the buckets of their life are so, you have the wheel, right? So the wheel is not round, it's like boom, 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 boom. So what happens, money doesn't want to be around that, because
No.
you have to be aligned with your other things in order for your money to come in and say, I want to be your friend. It's a relationship. It's just, and I mean, I have seen that, and I think that's why sometimes I don't want to give up. I just get frustrated because I don't know how to help women in that area, which is the wellness portion of it.
Mhm.
And it's like I can only refer them to podcasts, but you need someone that can really help, just like I help them to walk through the journey of what financial journey, they need someone to walk them through financial wellness. I mean, wellness, just wellness.
Well-being, yeah.
And then once you have that, then I come in, and it's a different energy, because now they are aligned. They might not be 100%, but if from 50% you get aligned 80%, there can be some progress while you keep working on this to get you to 100%. So then this one can align right away. So yeah,
They go together. They cannot go separate. And I think that is a problem with a lot of people and a lot of women. We feel that it's two separate things, or where is the money coming from, right? It has to be outsourced. Somebody else has to create it and we spend it. Well, I think there's so much more power in creating it and be able to spend it in whatever we want without asking for permission, like you said last time. And before I forget, I want to read this little quote that from 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 this same person that I listened to the podcast, and it is better to live your own life imperfectly than to live a perfect imitation of somebody else's life.
Oh, I did see that. Did you put it on your stories?
Yeah, I put it on my post. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I had to screenshot it, and yeah, this is like, it is better to live your own life imperfectly than to live a perfect imitation of somebody else's life. And that is a regrets of like, I could have done. No, I think that's the worst thing, to go to the grave or just before, like, your kids, your children, and like, Mom, what are you feeling proud of? I should have done this. I should have hugged you more. I should have said more, I love you. I should have gone on walks with you. I should have, yeah, it's like, really, are we taking care of those things?
exactly. Oh, I love that. Ooh, creating memories. Ooh.
Creating memories. That's what life is about. Why do you want so much money if you're not creating the memories? And when you're creating memories, then it's when you will make the money. It's like I wrote this morning, whatever you do, if you do it with love, only good will come out of that.
See that? Ooh, I receive that right now. Ooh, yep, that. Ooh, yep, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yep.
So we're gonna end that conversation for today. I think we have a lot to offer to the world and to more women communities. But whoever is listening to this, if at any moment you want to connect with us, always, 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 our connection or contact information will be on the description below on this video, this YouTube video, or wherever we post it. So that you can reach out, whether you want health, whether you want more financial wellness, and together we can be better. We're here to help you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.